You are watching Gooch right here on Wellness Wednesdays. Listen, I'm just waiting for my co-host, Pete Bombaci, to come on. Listen, I just announced yesterday the Concussed, brought to you by the Fired Up Network, is going to be a new video podcast. We're hoping that you will join us on it every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Obviously, Wednesday night is Wellness Wednesdays at 7 p.m., all brought to you by the good people at Gouche Live Productions. And, of course, couldn't do this all without, of course, the bottom line, the hockey news, and those good people at the Sports Illustrated. Monday nights reserved for the Mental Health Mondays with Chuck Basti. And these will all be produced by Gouche Live Productions. And on top of that, it will go on Fired Up Network. And I hope you join us on that. Just waiting for Pete Bombaci to join us. I hope he has launched his new platform, the Genwell Project. Let's call it a relaunch. He's come back with an unbelievable website. It's fantastic. Here it is. I'll just give you a little scroll right now. It is sweet. It is really, really good. So if you get a chance to check this out, Pete Bombaci, go to www.genwellproject.org and you will see this incredible project that he is on. It's called the Human Connection Movement. It is a movement, and we need to get a lot more people involved, of course, as you know. Hey, listen, generating wellness through the power of human connection. That's what Genwell Project is all about. What's really important is that they have very good contacts of social connection is a greater detriment to the health than obesity, smoking, and high blood pressure. Comes out of the University of Michigan. Wow. Who knew that? Single largest predators of human happiness is the quality of a person's relationships. That's called predictor. Let's do that over again. Single largest predictor of human happiness is the quality of a person's relationship. This is all being brought to you by the good people at Genwell Project, and I'm just waiting for Pete Bombaci, hopefully to join us in a few seconds. Here's another one. 6 out of 10 Canadians feel somewhat or much lonelier than before the pandemic. Make sense? Researchers have identified social connection as the strongest protective factor for depression. Massachusetts General Hospital. And I'm a firm believer, of course, that you have the ability to help people by connecting with people. The best medicine for people is people and connecting. So I really love these sayings that are on Genwell Project. Generating wellness through the power of human connection. We have learned, and Pete Bombaci is a big proponent of this, that if you connect with your family, with your friends, at a time when you feel isolated, you will not feel isolated. Pretty simple. It's all about connection. And finally, 4 out of 10 Canadians want more friends. I'm a friend. I've got my number here, 416-828-2929. The reason why I've got that up today is I am at Goulet29 at stopconcussions.com. Yesterday, I've launched the Concussed Understanding the Invisible Injury. As you may or may not know, I wrote a book with Keith Primo called Concussed. Keith Primo, Kerry Goulet. And this is all about understanding the invisible injury. And Robert Wine, who's a big supporter of all of our programs, has really made me aware of concussions are really the invisible injury. A lot of people look at somebody who's concussed and they really can't see the injury. Yet when you see somebody that's been in a car accident, they may be bloodied and, a broken arm or broken leg, we can see the injury. And so it's really important that we lay down the myths, eliminate the risks of concussions. The only way we can do that, the most powerful way to do that, is allow your brain to protect itself. And when we do that, we will be better off. And that's why we've launched the Concussed Understanding the Invisible Injury. I'm not sure. I know Pete is up north, maybe having some Wi-Fi problems. So I'm hoping that he will join us very soon. David Carlson, always happy hump day. Instead of having a coyote on that picture, why don't you have a camel? Robert Wine, I just mentioned you in my last little sentence here that you were the one that really made it my attention to the fact that a concussion is an invisible injury. And we've seen Keith Primo, of course. We know the fact that his career was ended by concussions, and we needed to help him through those times. And when you look at Keith Primo, he doesn't look concussed, and he doesn't look disabled, but he certainly went through some very rough times. And that's why we are working towards getting better information and understanding of the injury. But more importantly, with the Genwell Project and Pete Bombaci, I'll move out of the way. There it is. There is his new logo, Human Connection Movement. I'm going to read these through one more time if you didn't get a chance to hear them. Generating wellness through the power of human connection. We all know that when we're depressed and we feel anxiety, we don't want people around us. But the only way to get out of that is to actually meet up with people, have people be a part of you. Let them be your friend. Let them be available to you. There are so many people, good people out there that want to help. We all have to give up an opportunity where we help others when we can't understand why. Don't pass judgment. Communicate. That's what it's all about. And that's what the Genwell Project is all about. And as you see here, another incredible statement. Social connection is a greater detriment to health than obesity, smoking, and high blood pressure. How many people out there will put their hand up and realize that? How many can say, I knew that? I didn't even think of that. Obesity and smoking are pretty serious. And so isolation is very important. We are human. We need human connection. We need interaction. We need to be engaged. And so we ask all of you to be engaged. You're seeing at the bottom, www.genwellproject.org. Go there. Pete Bombaci and his team have put together an absolutely incredible program that you can read through and understand, and it will certainly help you. Single largest predictor of a human's happiness is the quality of person's relationships. Have true friends, have real friends. Make an inventory of your friends. Understand who are there to help and support at any time and who are there just to drag you down. Friends that drag you down aren't truly friends. People that are there unconditionally, those are the type of people you need in your life. But the give and take is you also have to be there for your friends unconditionally. Sometimes that's difficult. 6 out of 10 Canadians feel somewhat or much lonelier than before the pandemic. Well, that's obvious. We have been put into isolation. We have been put into a situation where we can't interact one-on-one. Physical touch. I'm a hugger. I love hugging. And so if you can't live prior to the pandemic like you did, it's going to be a new learning. We're going to have Robert Morris join us next week, and we're going to talk about, we had him on and we started to discuss the integration, the reintroduction to social society, because right now we don't have that. Everything is this. Everything's done on our laptop. We do Zoom calls, we do tweet, we do TikTok. We're engaged in YouTube, here on Facebook. But what's important is that we need that human touch. Man, woman, child need human touch. And I'm so excited to say that that is what the Genwell Project is all about. Researchers have identified social connection as the strongest protective factor for depression. Very important, very important. I am not a doctor, so please don't take it in that way. I have lived through depression when I played in hockey and suffered a concussion. I am not an expert when it comes to understanding how I got to where I was, but I know what got me out. I had a great group of people in my circle that I could rely on and I could trust. And that's the most important. That's why I said, make sure you have an inventory of friends, people that you know when you're down and out and you need help, they'll be there for you. It's easy to say, oh, I'll be there for you. Words are cheap. Just make sure that that person knows when you need them that they'll be there for you. I'm a true believer that everyone goes around one time in life and has to deal with darkness. And when you deal with darkness, it's so important to know that there are people that hold a flashlight. When you're in that dark tunnel, knowing that somebody's there to give you a ray of hope or give you that light bulb will certainly be it. Hey, listen, double down, play on a team. I love this. Thanks for joining us, Dave Bowden. I was waiting for Pete Bombaci. He has launched his new Genwell Project. So I didn't get a guest. Dave and I, obviously, Dave, I wanted to have Pete explain to us all about the Genwell Project. He is up north at his cottage, and we know what can happen there with the internet. So here it is. Double down, play on a team. So important. Go on a hike with the friends. What a great statement. Now, especially when we know people are vaccinated and you've got a social group, you can go outside and just go for a walk. My wife and I do it every single day. Your brain will thank you for moving. I agree with that. Listen, when you're sitting around eating chips, you only get what? Fat. Even if you are fat, get up off it and start walking. You will see the improvement. Even if you don't lose 1 ounce, you'll just feel better. Your brain will thank you, as what is said here. As soon as you move, your frontal lobe will stop the anxiety. Love it. Thank you, Dave, for sharing that with us. Each and every time you talk about the invisibility of the brain injury, I'm actually, boy, it's weird saying this, that the benefits of my being physically disabled are clear to me. Robert, as you probably know, is a big supporter of our cause. He will be a representative Stop Concussion in the Ottawa area with his great foundation called Brain Strong. He was hit by a driver that fell asleep, and it changed his life instantly. Some people actually say that it was an accident. But it wasn't an accident. It was a choice. And I love hearing that from Robert. And people would say he got hit by a driver that changed his life forever. He ended up being in the hospital. They gave him a 50-50 chance to live. And here is a guy that has rebuilt his life. Though he's physically disabled, you can see, you notice it right off the bat. He obviously suffers from some form of brain injury, though he's sharper than a thumbtack. When you look at him, you know he's been injured. The first thing you look at, you don't think that he's been brain injured. You look at his body parts that have been damaged through this injury. And what I really like about his attitude is he doesn't state that it was an accident. He stated it was a choice. That driver that got in that car wasn't drunk, but was too tired to be behind the vehicle and fell asleep. That was a choice. That was not an accident. So let's remember what an accident truly is. And Robert, I really want to thank you for being an inspiration for all of us. And Donna, of course, you are my family. Family counts too. What's really important that in the dynamics of a family, and of course, you know what went on with my sister and the hardships that my mother and I went through, along with my brother, as my sister battled through mental illness. Obviously, that mental illness helped create the need for alcohol and drugs, and she obviously used that to try and temper the symptoms that she had. Family is so important. Do not forget that. And Donna, thank you for reminding us that family counts too. Take inventory, take time out. If you've been, let's say over the last few years, you've been fighting with your mother or your father, or you've been battling with a sibling or one of your best friends, lay down the gauntlet. It's time to reach out. They will need you more than they've ever needed you. And yes, they may have done some bad things to you, or maybe you did some bad things to them. It's easy to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you can do that, that will open the world. That'll open your heart. And you know what it'll do? It'll allow you to be connected to people that really care about you. And sometimes we think that they don't care, but I do believe we all care. And that's why we do what we do. And that's why we have Chuck Bassey doing Mental Health Mondays. And starting next weekend, next Tuesday, we'll start with Concussed for people that are suffering with concussions. Gouche Live Productions, along with Fired Up Network, bring you that incredible program where I'll be bringing you all the experts. Scott Holler starts it off, and then we'll go down the line and get every expert. We'll answer every question you need to know. And then, of course, tonight, Wellness Wednesday, we're back. We're waiting for Pete Bombaci to join us, but he will be back next week, and we'll talk all about the Genwell Project and the need for human connection. I wanted to continue on some of these great statements here. Generating wellness through the power of human connection. Again, we can't say it enough. Take time out. Pick up the phone. Right after we get off this, pick up the phone somebody you haven't spoken to for a while. See how they're doing. Ask them, how you doing? And listen. Let them tell you how they feel. And then by all means, tell them how you feel. But first, listen to how they feel. Very important. This is a really 4 out of 10 Canadians want more friends. Put up your hand if you want more friends. I love Friends. I actually liked the program too, Friends. It was kind of fun back in the, early 90s, 2000s. Listen to Genwell Project. You can see it right there, www.genwellproject.org. Listen, I guess Pete's not going to join us, so I want to thank everybody for coming out. Dave Bowden, thank you for that incredible statement. I think it's really important. Dave Carlson, I haven't heard from you for a while. I hope everything's going well. I know that, with trials and tribulations in life, we've all been going through them. Now we see the light at the end of the tunnel. We hope. I know there's a variant that's out there that's maybe lurking in the weeds, but don't stop being optimistic. Even if we shut down again, life will get better. Life is getting better. For all those people that are vaccinated and we're moving forward, that is what it's about now. It's about you taking care of you. It's about you making sure you take care of your own space before you worry about other people's space. However, when somebody comes into your space that needs help, be there for them because they will be there for you when you most definitely need it. And we're here for you. Don't forget, you have the opportunity to make a phone call. You can certainly let us know. There's a number, 416-828-2929. Feel like a Jerry Lewis telethon again, but it's true. We're here. We will help, and we'll put you in the right direction. If you need help with a concussion, we'll get you the help that you need, certainly with Scott Holler. If you need some help with maybe some mental anxiety, let's not even call it mental illness or mental health. Let's call it just the things that what they are. Anxiety, depression. If you're dealing and feeling those emotions, call me. Send an email to that number, to this email address. I will get you in touch with Scott, our great people that are here. Scott Holler, I'm sorry, I got the Robert Morris will be there for you. And we will make sure that you have all the right connections that you need. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting a lot of names involved here. Steve Morris. I will make sure that Steve Morris is there for you. We will find a way if you're dealing with anxiety and don't know what to do. It may be one of your loved ones that's suffering. You don't know what to do. If you haven't been there, you don't know. You don't know who to call. I personally have been there. Paul Rosen has personally been there. Chuck Basti has been there. Pete Bombaci has been there. Donna has been there. We've all been there, and we are here to help. And make sure you check that out. All right, listen, I just want you to know that we exist to address the issues of social isolation and loneliness through the power of connection. That is Pete Bombaci's word. Social isolation, loneliness. You can join them. Please join them. Happier and healthier lives are through connection. We all know that. It's so important. Look what's going on with the Blue Jays. All of a sudden, they're here downtown Toronto, and the place is abuzz. Toronto's alive downtown. I was down there today. There was a game. A bunch of people came over to the bottom line. Wayne County, don't forget, Front Street, 22 Front Street. The bottom line has an incredible outdoor patio, and we see the weather's going to be great. Please check it out. We had some chicken wings there. Fantastic. Wayne Kelly does a great job. But as I was sitting there, I can't tell you how many people walked around with Blue Jay shirts on. It's time. It's time. We have the ability to open up again. We still have to protect ourselves, wearing masks if you're not vaccinated, wearing masks when you're vaccinated so you won't pass it on to somebody who's not vaccinated. Come on, people. We only need a few more months. Let's work this out together. Let's be together. We're in this together. We're getting out of it only together. Not one person's going to solve this. We are all going to solve it together. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know it's kind of a short one. I just wanted to make sure that you know that Wellness Wednesdays is here alive, and we will be back every single Wednesday for the next 365 days. I guess it'd be 52 weeks. So 52 Wednesdays, you're going to be hearing us, the Wellness Wednesday. You'll see a new look next week. Yes, sir. We've got some real cool designs coming for you on Wellness Wednesdays, and we're going to be bringing you some great people. And one of them is Stephen Morris, where we're going to talk about reintegrating, reinvesting our energies, and becoming social again, connecting. So important. I want to thank you for taking some time out today. I love the comment here. Donna, thank you. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to chat with you this week about all the great things that are out on the East Coast. I talked to Kevin Noble on the West Coast. Things are good. Now we just hope we bring it all together, and we as a nation can rise above COVID and now begin to live again. It's almost like a birthday. When we get completely freed, our new lives begin. So let's start it tonight. All right. Thank you for joining us on Wellness Wednesday. We will see you next week. I know Pete Bombaci will be back here, and Stephen Morris will be here to help you understand how do we reintegrate. It's not a light switch, guys. We can't just walk out there. Not everybody has a personality to be able to just stand out there and say hello. People will be standoffish. People will be worried, do I have COVID? Do you have COVID? Have you been vaccinated? Are you an anti-vax? Are you politically motivated by all of this? It's okay. It's okay to have your opinion. But we do have to protect the vulnerable. All right. We will see you next week. Looking forward to it. Good night.